Guest author this morning hails all the way from Wolvekraal in Mpumalanga. His name is Dumisani Sithole and he is a motivational speaker and recording artist of audio series called It's Doable and Possible, as well as Do More, Talk Less. Now, after a successful release of his first book called Understanding Your Challenges, he was then propelled to release yet another self-help offering titled Life Principles. Now, this inspirational book seeks to provide the reader with guidelines that will help them build strong beliefs within themselves that will serve as a foundation and stepping stone towards a very successful life. Now, Dumisani Sithole joins me now in studio to tell us more about this offering. A very good morning to you, Baba. Thank you so much for joining us. Kunjan.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Great. Indeed. Now, just give us a brief synopsis of this book. What's it all about?
The book is powerful. The book is about the life tools that one needs to possess to get to their God-given destiny. You'll understand that when you have a purpose, when you have a specific place that you want to get into, you need the life tools. There's certain things that you need to possess for you to get to that particular point. If you check the principles that I've outlined there's about 20 principles that I've outlined, and with special mention of the first principle, be yourself. You cannot get to your God-given destiny until you are the original version of yourself. So people need to understand that to get to that particular place, you need to possess certain things in you that will make you get to that particular point.
Another principle in this book is defined as the fundamental truth that serves as the foundation for a system of belief. What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that for you to actually tap into your purpose, you need to believe in the particular principle. For an example, one of the principles that I've mentioned there is enough is enough.
Yeah.
You know, we have a number of people that have been crying for quite a while, a number of people that have been regretting for quite a while. So you have to be at the point where you say, you know what, I've had enough. Enough is enough. I'm tired of whispering. I'm tired of watching other people succeed. I'm tired of clapping hands for other people. It's my time now. You know, you need, until you think positively and until you believe that the timing is right for you, and all the doors that you're gonna knock on now will result into positivity. You're not gonna get positivity, so you need to believe. You need to actually tap into that particular belief and say, you know what, I'm tired. Now it's my time. And claim that until you believe it and until you say it with your mouth, then it will come to pass.
Indeed. Now, your previous offering called Understanding Your Challenges, how is it different from this?
Well, Understanding Your Challenges was mainly, I was explaining what challenges are. I believe that before you can solve for X, you need to understand that there's an X that needs to be solved. So you need to understand the challenge for you to be able to overcome the challenge. So in the first book, I was mainly concentrated on what challenges are there that for people that are facing. In this particular book, it's life principles. In this, I'm giving people a toolbox to say, for you to get to your God-given purpose, you need to have a toolbox that will assist you in times when the going gets tough. That's where then you go into the toolbox and say, you know what? There is a principle there that says I must check out my crowd, because not everyone that I meet in life is going to get travel with me to my God-given purpose. There's people that I'm going to meet that I'm only going to meet for a season. There's people that I'm going to meet for a reason. So I need to understand that people that are going with me are not necessarily going to get with me to my God-given purpose. So there's some that are going to fall off on the road. It does not necessarily mean that they were not supposed to be with me, but it basically means that there were some good lessons that I'm getting, because there's one or two things. When you meet people, you meet them to get good experiences or to get good memories. When something good between me and you happens, when we meet, I get a good memory, because when I think of you, I'll say we had a great time. But when something bad between me and you happens, it's a bad experience, but it gives me a good lesson.
Certainly.
So regardless of what happens when you meet someone, there's always something good that comes out of it, because it's a good lesson or a good experience.
And having said that, Dumisani, you know, I know of a friend who used to despise the teaching profession, and he initially wanted to be a doctor and take up medical studies, but then things couldn't go according to his plan, and then he landed, guess what, as a teacher. But then he made the most of it, and he's now a lecturer, a university lecturer. So you yourself were your DJ in your previous life. Now, you also talk, in one of the principles, you talk of doing what you dislike to get what you like. Well, that's marks of adapting to the current circumstances and making the most of it.
Exactly. And you see, with that, you know, when someone wants to get into a certain place, they actually are predicting the road that they'll have to travel. For me, I had to think as to be a motivational speaker, how can I get into my target market? How can I get my message out there? Then I started doing what I disliked to get what I liked. And what I liked was to motivate people. So if I was booked for an hour, I'll play my set for like 45 minutes. The remaining 15 minutes, I'll just grab a mic and start motivating. And what will happen, the turnout and the reaction that I'll get from the crowd. What's amazing, I'll go on radio as well. I'll play my set for 45 minutes. The last 15 minutes, I'll be motivating people.
Yeah.
So you'll find someone that wants to be something, but you don't necessarily have to predict to say, look, this is the route I'll have to travel. There's some certain things that will come across that you have to do and you have to master. You have to do perfectly well for you to actually tap into another angle of being what you're called to be. So do not only predict to say, this is the only road. There's no only road. If you say 5 plus 2, you get a 7. 6 plus 1 is a 7. So there's various ways of getting to a certain answer, to a particular purpose. You just have to know what is your purpose. What is it that you're called to do? Because nothing works perfectly well if it's used for the purpose that is not intended to. So if you use something for its original purpose, it works perfectly well. But for it to get to that particular point, there's various ways of doing something.
What is it that you hope your readers will take with them after reading this book?
I'm hoping that readers will have those tools, will possess the tools. I'm hoping that the readers will start believing in themselves. I hope that the reader will stop looking back. Because, look, we're not perfect. So we've done good and we've done bad. So you need to understand that regardless of your past, you can still prosper. You can still get to your God-given purpose. You need to not look back, because when you look back, then that's when you start looking at the negativity that you've done, looking at the bad things that you've done, forgetting that, look, when your future looks bright, sometimes people will use your ugly past so that they can distract your present, that you don't get to your God-given future. So you need to understand the principles, possess them with you, and start using them. Because it's one thing to be motivated. That is why I always say motivation without action is a complete waste of time. If you are motivated and you go to sleep, then it is good as nothing. You need to be motivated and do something. Action. If you look at ACT, it's a 3 alphabet word. It's ACT. Action creates things. You need to, after being motivated, take a step, do something, and do it pretty well, so that the motivation can result into seeing something.
Indeed. You know what? I've been reading your book, and I must say that I'm a much better person now, and I've really looked at my purpose in life. But then, thank you so much, Dumisani.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. That was a motivational speaker and author, Dumisani Sithole, speaking to us about his latest book titled Life Principles, the fundamental truth that serves as the foundation for achieving maximum success.